just don't hang out with a lot of girls.
That could move.
I think that's what it is.
So, Daniel, that's...
I would think just respecting
what's been going on with you this half a week since we last saw you?
Oh, are we starting?
Actually, my Switch has been getting a lot of attention recently since I've been on the go.
Hell yeah. What you been hitting up on Switch?
Mega Man 11, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I just bought Dead Cells, so I haven't been playing it yet, but...
Oh my god, I can't wait to talk to you about that game. It's so fucking good. Like, I feel like you'll really enjoy that game. Just because the difficulty... You obviously like it. We talked about, your insane difficulties that you play on Gears and Halo and stuff like that. So I think you'll really appreciate the challenge. Some people end up really liking it. There's a few people that really don't. Josh, I think that's a game you'd like too, Dead Cells, just because... It's like a 2D side-scrolling Souls-like, kind of that kind of difficulty, but it's good stuff. I think you'd enjoy that. Nice. Those are great titles, though. Mega Man 11 is like the newest proper Mega Man entry, right? If I remember correctly.
Correct.
Okay. I like the fact that one did go back to just straight up, after trying all sorts of fucking different styles, they just went back to tried and tested, kind of like Sonic Mania. It just reminds me of okay, we give up trying to innovate. That's the thing I don't get. There are certain genres. I understand when certain franchises do need a bit of a boost, but there are times when people are very happy with what they have going on, and they don't want it to change. You know what I mean? It's like with Dark Souls, for example, people weren't really getting tired. At least, as far as I know, I'm speaking in a very general sense, so, do correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, FromSoft fans were pretty much digging FromSoft stuff, and that seems to be some of the changes. Some people seem to have some issues with some of the changes that happened in Sekiro, like having a fixed narrative point character instead of a role-playing character in a role-playing game. Which one, of course, could argue that it's not necessarily a role-playing game, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So there's that, and I understand all that, but... It did upset some people, didn't like that change. And then that's one of those things where I don't even think Souls had been getting stale enough yet with its modern iteration to really warrant such drastic changes. But then again, Sekiro actually, Josh, you would know this, is it based on something? Is there some sort of novel or contextual thing where Sekiro's a fixed character in something that From did a game of?
To my knowledge, it's like a spiritual successor to Tenchu.
Okay.
Because they used to make some of the Tenchu games, so...
Okay.
That's kind of the one thing, is that it's not necessarily a Souls-like.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the misconception with it is because, From Software, I can't really think of anything in between that gap, or that time frame of Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne... And 3, I don't think there was anything else that they were doing.
Yep. And for those of you, obviously this is an audio medium, you didn't see this. I was nodding my head. I'm sorry?
Armored Core 5. I'm a huge Armored Core fan.
When did that... Was that around after Dark Souls, or... Because I do know
it was around Dark Souls.
Okay.
Oh, I totally forgot that game came out. And that's the thing. People forget that FromSoft's other pocket... you have Souls-likes in one pocket, and the other pocket has their mech games, because Metal Wolf Chaos was also by them. For those of you, and I do not blame anyone for not knowing what Metal Wolf Chaos is. I only found out about this shit because of Best Friends Play back in the day. Was one of the very few Japanese exclusive OG Xbox games, in which it had my favorite style, which is Japan's take on America, which is always hilarious. That was recently ported to modern stuff and not Switch for some reason. I was really pissed off about that. But it's on PS4, Xbone, and PC now. Finally available publicly. Devolver got their hands on that and just upported it. The thing with it, though, that I played it on PC, and what I will say, that's why I didn't end up doing a review on it, because I didn't dislike it, but it definitely was more for the meme and nostalgia factor than it's not really a good game. it's old as hell. And it didn't age well, and I would have watched a hilarious anime adaptation or movie on it, but not the game's not. It's all right. It's all right. If they put it on Switch, I'll give it Game of the Year, but that's about it. Anything else, Mr. Daniel?
That's pretty much it for me.
Oh, right. We have Daniel from That Damn Brand on the line. That's a bit delayed. I'm not going to bother cutting that forward. Fuck it.
No
He was just there. Everyone knows who he is already. He was just there. But we'll plug all his shit later. Mr. Josh?
Yeah. Well, I'm still physically recovering from an event that we'll talk about later.
Yep, me too. Me too. I'm dying from that also.
Yeah. So this is the last episode of the year and the decade.
Theoretically, it's the first episode when it airs because it's not going up until the second.
Okay.
Which I actually do need to talk. We'll talk about logistic stuff afterwards. But what I will tell people on the air is we pretty much on download bandwidth is fine, but we pretty much ended up capping out our entire upload space because
we gotta wait.
We hit so I end up having to wait until the thing cycles out. But that is a good thing, though, because that means that we filled the content all the way up to our maximum potential, and then a lot of people have been enjoying it up to this point. There's still a few people, and I hear you, that the episodes have been getting longer after people had been already kind of saying that they needed to get shorter. They went from an hour and a half to 2 hours on average ever since we have guests. But understandably so, and I think a lot of people have been getting this, is the fact that with guests, it's another mouth that has a lot to say, and it's understandable. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but it's just that's just another opinion and another mind that's there. It's just going to take more time, and of course we have to talk what's going on with them and everything. So it's just naturally it's not going to get any shorter. Let me put it that way. If we're adding a person or people, it's not going to get any shorter.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, that being said, seeing that people are really digging the episodes, though. They've been finding the guests and variety of guests very interesting. We already have a few coming up that are very interesting this month. We have... Should I say it? Or should I say it at the end? Nah. I'll say it now. Fuck it. We have cosplayer Samira Khan will be joining us next week. She was actually going to join this week, but unfortunately, one, I'm glad she didn't because the news week was bullshit. But then two, she ended up getting sick also like the rest of us. So she just didn't want to be all raspy on air. Okay. And then after that, we got Lex the Lexicon Artist is going to be on the podcast, Nerdcore Rapper. She's really awesome. Got some cool stuff coming up she's been telling me about. But we'll let her talk about all that stuff. So, yep. All right, Josh, anything else other than getting sick and
Well, since it was, at the time of this recording, it was the Christmas week, I did watch A Christmas Story, as I usually do each year.
That's your tradition, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I'll watch that, usually on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
That's a good tradition. I do the stupid thing where I watch Die Hard, but... That's me.
And then, also some of those Rankin Bass stop-motion specials.
Oh, those are good.
Fan of those.
Those are great.
I've been listening to some remixes from Pokemon Sword and Shield because the music's pretty good.
That is one of the things that Sword and Shield is fucking exciting. I've still barely scraped the surface, but the little I crawl through it, every time I hear a piece of music from it, I'm like, that's pretty damn good.
It's good shit. Also, Braxton Burks, which I believe Oscar Britton brought up, who did a lot of those orchestrated Pokemon songs. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, there you go. I was just wondering who the hell was talking about that. You're right.
Yeah. And then kind of been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV after years of not really playing it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get in there, but I'd be too far behind, unfortunately.
I'm on Ultros.
Okay, I'm on Gilgamesh.
Cross-server issues.
Yeah.
I've been playing for a while. Oh, you too? What server? Oh, not my server. Yeah. Fuck that. I'm not starting over.
I know. I've been trying to find where I last left off because, I have not touched anything.
I just get so intimidated and I drop out.
Yeah. I mean, Heaven Sword. What was after that? Stormblood.
Dude.
And then now Shadowbringers.
Hasn't there been quite a few changes mechanically?
Actually,
and
yes.
Wise? Yeah,
I log in and I see that so many of my abilities and shit on my hotbar are just grayed out. They don't even exist anymore.
Yeah. I heard. I only know that because of Pat from. Well, one, playing MMOs in the past myself, but two, Pat from Castle Super Beast plays 14 like a fiend, so I kind of hear all this shit from him, even if Willie's pulling his hair out from having to hear about it all the time. Because there's a lot of changes in that game.
Oh,
yeah, a lot has happened.
Very
different. A lot has happened. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's too intimidating for me. I love D&D Online, and I lost almost 4 straight years dedicated to playing that game. But whenever I go on, there's been it would sound like a good thing. So many classes, expansions, and stuff has come out. But it's actually, for me, the way I am, it's a negative thing because I just get too intimidated about having to learn all this crazy shit. What's the meta now? Yeah. I used to have a sorcerer that was prime meta. Like fucking, I was in high demand. I always knew what to do. I was just doing my role, doing it well, and I was able to get a party because of that. And now I'm just like, everyone's just gonna hate me if I join. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what to do. Why are you using that spell? I thought we always did this during this thing. Nope, it's this now. Oh
yeah. Yeah, I saw they added there's a new tank class that actually uses a gunblade. I want to check that out.
that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Because FF8.
I think you have to be like level 60 though in order to unlock the quest, and I'm just level 50 with my Dragoon.
Is there any crossover events going on right now?
I think recently there was a Nier one.
Is a Nier one? Oh
yeah,
that's
I've been
right.
seeing people run around
because
with
the guys
the
can wear
Yorha
the guys can wear the 2B armor also, but it looks weird.
Nice.
But they can, so at least there's that.
Yeah, because I saw characters walking around with 2B's armor, and I'm like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah.
I did some of the Starlight event, the Christmas stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of fun.
Any
you play
special emotes or anything? Or?
So you play this rhythm game, and you get these little
I love rhythm games.
letters or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I was able to get a special barding for my Chocobo, so now it's got like a little Christmas hood on.
Nice.
It's pretty cute. Yeah.
That's cool. Chocobos are awesome.
They are.
Chocobos are awesome. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. That was pretty much my week.
Mallory?
So I spent 4 days in LA over the past week. Yeah, I decided instead of doing the normal holiday Christmas stuff, I would escape Christmas, which I did very well. Got sick, so that's cool. But probably the coolest part of the trip was I got to do a ghost hunt at the house that is 4 houses down from where the Manson murders happened.
Ooh.
Oh.
Just still really haunted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And shout out to David Omen for letting us do that at his house.
That can't be a real name.
It is.
Shut
on
the
his
hell
business
up.
card.
Chris
It's in his
Angel
book.
is a real name.
The book is House at the End of the Drive, and it's actually really good. I've been reading it since I got back. I got to nerd out over not only ghost hunting but creepy stuff. But I did at one point. We were walking through one of his rooms, and there's this old school arcade machine game, but it's like the 2 players, and it's like Pac-Man, and like we're going through all the games. I was like, hold up, guys, like we got to take a second and like record this part. And my friend who was with me, and then the other guy who was with us was like, why are we stopping the ghost hunt for this? I was like, because this is cool. And David Omen was all into it too, and I was like, this is awesome. So shout out to him for letting me just hang out and nerd out with him for a while. And then we went to... I Pokemon hunted a lot while I was there. I went to the Museum of Death while I was there. There's another one in New Orleans, which is pretty cool.
I think the one in New Orleans is the one with the chair. That everyone who's ever sat in it has died. So they started hanging it on the wall. Because for those who don't know, it's actually a pretty cool story. It's scary too, but yeah, there was a chair. I forgot the origin part of the chair, but like it was so close to like even in more like within the last century, but like really recent time, like it was always that curse. But then they used to keep it on the floor. But then like the maid or janitor or whatever sat in it, and they died recently too. Like anyone who sat on it died. Like you sat in it. You found out you had cancer, like, whatever. You sat in it, you got into a fatal car crash, like, 2 weeks later. Like, within weeks of, like, sitting in that chair, everyone has always died that sat in it. Like, it's crazy. It has, like, 100%, like, fatality rate at one point or another. Like, it's pretty interesting. So now it hangs, I believe, at the museum. One of the Museum of Deaths has it, and it hangs from the fucking wall now.
It's at the one in New Orleans.
No one's sitting on this shit.
Because the one we went to...
That's crazy.
Spoopy.
Yeah.
The one we went to only had the electric chair. But it's really neat to check out. I had so much fun doing creepy stuff. Like, I went to the Cecile Hotel, which is known for the Lisa Lam murder, which they can't really prove. It's an unsolved murder, but she ended up in a water tower. It's a really interesting story. We went to the American Horror Story house from season 1. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, we just did a bunch of spooky stuff, but my all-time favorite thing was getting to visit David Omen. Like, he really was like the most gracious host, very informative on all of the stuff we were doing. Really nice guy. So if you guys get a chance and want to check out his book, it's called House at the End of the Drive. And we played a lot of Pokemon Go.
Nice.
I guess, if you're going on a trip, that probably is one of the appropriate times to
I did
play
take my Switch with me.
Pokemon Go. Oh, that's
and
good.
I made a friend because he dropped this little kid dropped his Switch.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say drop your Switch. I was
No.
gonna say, what kind of friend is that?
No, this little kid in the airport, he dropped his Switch, and I picked it up and I kind of ran after them, kind of looked like a crazy person, but I didn't want him to lose his Switch. And his mom and him both had Switches, and they were like, "Can we add you as a friend on here?" I was like, "Sure."
Sure, we didn't play anything together, but
yeah, whatever. So it was pretty cool, and then I read a lot. So
Any Dickens? Considering spending Christmas with ghosts.
No, I read.
Now, if you don't know what he's referencing, you're out of the.
Okay, like yay.
But yeah, I just that's about it. Literally only watched like 2 Christmas things, and they were both South Park. Because I literally would not watch anything or listen to any Christmas carols this year.
Look at this fucking get a load of this society hating Christmas.
It wasn't that I hated Christmas. It's just I didn't want to. I just wanted to skip it this year. I just wanted to just be somewhere without it being a major holiday or anything. So
That's true. They don't celebrate that in California.
My family was like
a very secular state of California.
They were like, places are known for their Christmases, and I was like, yeah, and I don't want to do that this year. Like, I wanted to be left alone. I wanted to go do creepy shit. So I did. Which was
Halloween.
really awesome.
It's still Halloween, damn it.
Right.
Kate Vincent.
Oh, man.
All right, so...
What was your week?
My week. Oh, man. Get a load of... You want to know about my week? Nothing happened. I got sick, and then I got sick in the stomach, and then I got sick in the sickness, and I got down with the sickness, and it was not great. I didn't want to... You just try to make the best of it, It was still pretty fun, Christmas was fine. Spent it with the family, and then met up with Daniel. Josh and I went with Daniel, hung out for a bit at the old... You were out of town, so no complaining about not being there.
I'm not complaining.
I know we don't invite you to a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
you guys
because we're
don't.
mean, but... We also didn't know you came back, so there's also that. But, not related to... You know what? No, I'm just going to save this story. What the fuck else did I do? Oh, right. So, Switch, of course. Mm-hmm. I have like I spent a ludicrous amount. I saw how much like coins I made back, because, you have the reward system. Yeah. And then I saw that I had earned before Christmas, and I bought a lot more games since Christmas, 5,800 points, gold coins, which means I spent...
Holy shit, that's a free game, isn't it?
Yeah. So, to get that much, you had to have... When I did the math of how much I had to have spent to get that much, I also said, wow, I have a lot of games on Switch.
Oh, that's what you...
Yeah.
That's what it came down to.
Yeah, basically, it came down to that. I thought I got a fucking free AAA game is how many games I bought. Since fucking, like, February, basically. That's it. The evolution of, like, my love for the Switch going from... So when the Switch was first announced, I'm not gonna lie, like many people, I doubted it, and, because I liked my Wii U, but I got why it didn't do good, marketing-wise and otherwise. Then, in 2018, I really saw it grow, and I was just like, okay, I see you, Switch, I at least see you now. You're actually not a shitty Game Boy, basically, that, fizzled out. I was just, the thing that sounded too surreal to me, and I gotta admit, before I switched over to the Lite, it still blew my mind every time I would use it, was the actual switching function. The fact that the game does upscale when you're docked, and then downscales appropriately when you're on handheld. When that was first announced, the idea for it, I just didn't think we were there yet, tech-wise. Especially, the 3DS was good. Mm-hmm. The Vita. And then Microsoft was smart enough to not even try. And with that being the case, like, because of that, and the fact that Nintendo was the only one who ever got it right handheld-wise, I was just like, okay, if anyone is going to do it, at least this is Nintendo doing it. But I just didn't think we were there tech-wise, but I'm pleasantly surprised. I always tell people it's like witchcraft still to me, that that's even a possibility. It's pretty cool.
Doesn't it overclock the chip?
It does, yeah. Yeah, which is why some people overclock the unit itself overall, and we're basically able to do some pretty impressive stuff. Now, Nintendo, of course, is very careful with the chipset, so they don't overdo it. But someone did show that if you really wanted to, you can even run The Witcher 3 at 60 FPS on the Switch, even in handheld and dock. Nice. So that's pretty crazy because the fucking PS4 and fucking Xbox can't even do that shit. But anyways, so then roll to 2019 at the beginning. Of course, like literally the last whole generation where anytime a game is announced by Platinum Games for a system, I go get it, like 100%. That's how I started my last journey. Bayo 2 and Wonderful 101 announced, Wii U. Fucking Scalebound announced, Xbox. Nier announced, PS4. Like, it just goes from there. And then fucking finally, now with Switch, Astral Chain had been announced, and I was just like, I'm there. And that it really they're my favorite developer, and they literally can make me buy a console. Like, if a fucking a new Atari console came out and they announced they're making a game for it, fuck it, I'm there. Like, it's just, I just love their game so much. And I wasn't disappointed. Astral Chain was high on my list of fucking, if you check it out at summationentertainment.com, you can see that it was pretty high up there on my list. That's some numerical position in the top 10. So that was that. But yeah, so that's why at the beginning of 2019, I was just like, this is the year of the Switch, I think. Like, it was growing in 2018, but I think this is their year. And so far, ever since I bought it to now, so many great releases have come out or been announced where I'm just like, it was right at the right time to get one. So I was happy to be on that. But that was a really long way to be saying that I've been playing a lot of games on there. But primarily, just more Ashen. But I kind of got not burned out, but I got frustrated because Ashen is that Souls-like I've been playing, and I got killed, dropped a big amount of the equivalent of souls, then went to go get it, and then didn't pay attention, and then got killed before I could retrieve that. So then the smaller stack was what dropped and replaced the old stack, and yeah. So then after that, I took a break from that shit, and then I decided to play. I played on PC for a little bit, but then I played it a lot more now. Was Baba Is You, which for people who don't know is a very hard puzzle game. For anyone who's seen Pat from Castle Super Beast's significant other, Paige, aka Peach Aliva, played a lot. She had some issues getting through on that, but to be fair, it does get pretty difficult. So the premise is, I'm dropping a few minutes in it video, my first one of next year, will be on it, but basically, there's several words that say a certain moveset around. So the character that you usually play as is the little sheep, I guess, Baba. When it looks like a sheep, that's what it looks like to me. And for example, so it'll say Baba is you. So the words Baba is you will be there. Flag is win, and then rock is push. But you can move the words around as you need to solve the puzzle. So let's say I don't want the rock to move, so I'll move that word away. I can't get to the key, but I can know how to get to the rock. So I'll move rock to rock is win, flag is push. I'll move the flag out of I can't move the flag out of the way, but I don't need to get to it. And then you'll go to whatever. Or if you'll do something else, like when you want to get into another room, you can push the word over to Baba is flag, and then now you'll be the flag all of a sudden, something like that. So it's really interesting because, especially around the second or third map and on, it gets really difficult. And the thing is, though, that game is difficult for some people right off the bat. It just depends on what kind of thinker you are. Because if you're not very creative or not a critical thinker, not to say you're dumb, but if you just don't think in the way where you think of, like, me, when I see all those words, I immediately start piecing together a million ways of what all the rule sets could be or what I could change it to. Like, I think very fast like that. I was thinking like a million miles an hour. But some people don't, and they just are a very either literal people or they're subordinate types who like to be told what to do or guided. You won't be as good at that game just naturally because your brain doesn't take the reins. You like to kind of be taught how to do it as opposed to trying to figure it out yourself. And that's just what it is. For example, Pat had a pretty easy time with it, but Paige didn't. Just kind of shows the way that they both think very differently. But it's a lot of fun, and gets frustrating, though, because you can pretty much take a while solving something and then accidentally do an action that just... there's a rewind, but... you can do something where you're just like, oh wow, now I need to do the whole thing again because I totally fucked up that sequence. But that's a lot of fun. And then other than that, was it Ashen? That one, I took a break from Celeste because I got stuck on no, I didn't get stuck. I just beat it, but I didn't feel like going to the 6th map yet. And then I played a little bit of Windjammers, but then I went back to Baba Is You. And then I feel like I'm forgetting a game that whatever. That's that. All right. So, before we get into everything, because that was a long weekly recap, let us find out where everybody can be found. Where can everybody find you, Mr. Daniel?
You can find me on Twitch, that damn DAM _D, and thatdamnbrand.com.
Mr. Josh?
Twitter and Instagram at JoshiroJostar. YouTube at ShiroPlay5.
You can find me on Instagram at awesome_Mally.
I just wanted to hear the background sounds. I don't know if that bled in, but there's just people like either taking a big shit or
possibly
doing something outside of the door. So I don't know what's happening. But
any police listening to this?
Yeah, we might be
involved.
Yeah, exactly.
We're literally just in a room.
We're just in a room trying to mind our own business. Yeah. But yeah. And you can find me on @ZDRocker at all the places, SlimAsianEntertainment.com, as well as DisconnectedCast.com, where you are possibly listening to this at Spotify, Apple Music, and other very major podcast platforms. That's where we're at.
Lovely.
Okay, so Christmas non-miracle that happened. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure. Oh, that's one thing I was going to mention. So I've been watching a lot of... It's video game related, so it can be in the news, even though it's not really news, but... I was watching one of AVGN's video from 2016, and they were playing Metroid 2 on the Super Game Boy. Mm. And when they were playing it, they said something that just kind of blew my mind, because I forgot how old they are, but all of us, except for Mallory, are in our 30s now. And let me just see real quick how old James Rolfe is, a.k.a. the AVGN. He is 39.
Yeah, I was going to say they're probably in their late 30s.
Even though he seems pretty youthful to me. Yeah. I could be wrong, but him and Mike are about... So him and Mike are almost in their 40s. They were talking about it, though, and they go... Mike was talking about farming power-ups and health in Metroid. And he looks at James and goes... Again, this is 2016, so not that long ago. And he goes... You familiar with the term farming? And then James goes... maybe a couple of years ago, like 2014, kind of heard that term. I was just like, you hear about that fucking term? That was 2014. Now, maybe it's because we all played MMOs and we're all nerds, but it's just like, or maybe he's just...
term back in 06, 04.
But maybe he's also just plays, he's not really in that gaming loop of like...
Could be.
He definitely didn't play MMOs, I know that much, and... Maybe when he did play RPGs, some JRPGs growing up, like the classic Final Fantasies, he never probably really talked to anyone to the point of having to use a term where farming,
farm XP, farm these materials.
And then Mike brought up the term grinding, and James had admitted at that point of 2016 when they made that video, he hadn't even heard of that term, other than at a strip club or something. So I was very surprised because he did mention I can think of a few terms that could be used for, but he goes I've never heard it used for gaming, and I go, wow. I guess I just play a lot of RPGs or talk to a lot of people about nerd shit, but yeah, I was very surprised to hear that, just because again they're older than us, but come on, not even a decade older than us, not that old.
Yeah,
I think it's crazy. He just got not just, but recently got a movie for AVGN.
Oh, it was really good too. I actually ended up buying that movie.
It was how many years in the making for that?
It took a while. It's something he'd been wanting to do for a while. It was cool though, because it really showed off, because even before the whole video game thing, I mean, anyone could argue he's the OG content creator for video games. With that being the case, but his background has always been in film.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see that with a budget, pretty good film, director and screenplay writer and stuff like that. Because that movie was pretty good. At least from what I recall.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was pretty funny. It was a good amount of references, and it's a standalone movie, fine in its own right. But if you got a lot of the references from the old AVGN episodes, it did enhance it a bit. But yeah,
I think there's a lot of fan service. You had to be a fan to really enjoy it.
Yes, for sure. You did definitely have to. Yeah. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, it just made me think of that. On the opposite spectrum of young people, there was a weird story over the holiday season with there's a couple of content creators I follow, and then of course I am at least aware of the super mainstream ones like Markiplier, PewDiePie, and stuff like that. Ninja even though I've never I couldn't even describe to you what Ninja's style is like, because I've never actually watched him. But
I think
there
they
is
yell at his fan base.
Is there that probably? But there's apparently a Twitch streamer called Pokimane.
Oh yes, I've heard of her.
Yeah, so it's some like actual child-looking person, and which right is an actual child. Though. I don't know why I said it like that. It's weird. But there's a youth that streams what I'm assuming is Pokemon, but there's a little bit of a mix of her name, which is Imane. It doesn't matter. But anyways, so apparently on the 21st of December, she was doing a live stream and realized, I guess she got an email or notification of some sort, that she had someone had purchased Just Dance 2020 on her Switch, which at first she had assumed and even tweeted on social media that she was like, she was treating it kind of sarcastically, although I'd imagine she panicked a little bit just because at that point she thought someone had hacked her account. Mm-hmm. But upon further investigation, realized that her entire Switch had been stolen. So apparently what happened is, first of all, fake fan, because you should know your Switch is missing the second it gets, because if you're like me and that shit's basically chained to you, there's no way you went more than an hour without noticing where your Switch was. But anyways. So she noticed it was missing, and apparently the time frame where it had happened is she went to Canada. She lives in California, but she flew to Canada with her family for vacation purposes. So she was gone for about a week. Forgot her Switch, so she claims. Fake fan. When she got, and so didn't play when she got. This doesn't make any sense.
Just the
this is the fakest story I've ever heard, because listen to this. Let me summarize this bullshit story. I wasn't going to go this route with it, but I'm changing the angle.
Changing it up on us now, John.
But so how do you go on a trip without your Switch, and when you get back, the first thing you didn't do was look for your Switch? The fuck is that? Oh, Pokemon. More like Fakey-Man, because I don't know why the fuck you're playing Pokemon. You're not playing real Pokemon where you're going on a fucking family. Anyways, so turns out she just got the whole goddamn thing stolen. The thing that's a little creepy about that is it's one of those like, she's one of those content creators that lives in a content creator house, like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and all those other assholes were in a thing together when Vine was big, and that's how they all got famous. So she lives with two other streamers. Oh, she's 23. She just looks like she's 12, but she's 23. And she watch this episode happen to get to a crossover for fan base and just be. Anyways,
I can only wait for the comments. I'm so excited.
It's just like Melty Blood all over again. But yeah, so from what they noticed, that was the only thing that was stolen. Blah 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 blah. But the weird, one, it's easy to just sign out of your account anyways. Just go on your Nintendo account thing online, just sign out of all devices.
Like her house broken into? Like, how did her Switch get stolen?
Yeah, that's what happened.
But was it only her Switch that got stolen?
Yes.
And the roommates didn't say anything? Like, oh, hey, by the way, house got broken into, FYI.
I don't think anyone noticed. I think the Switch thing is the only reason anyone noticed.
But if you're going to break into something...
Yeah, that's very...
It seems like a very targeted thing. So what I think happened is... Insane fan, because what I've seen of a lot of these female Twitch streamers is they all have insane incels as their fan bases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that didn't translate very well for an audio medium, but Josh just looks at Mallory as I'm saying that, and because of the conversation we had before this recording started, but it's true. But, yeah, so with that being the case... What I think it is, insane fan wanted her Switch. Like, he legit had no
other Switch
intent or whatever. He was just like, ooh, I have her Switch.
Only be one.
It's got to smell like her. It's got to smell like her non-Pokemon playing ass! But yeah. So, anyways, so the breaking news story is that Pokemon doesn't actually play Pokemon. Going on, we had the...
This is the quality news.
One of the stories I forgot to bring up last week that I found was interesting is that Gungrave game coming out. Gungrave, whatever the fuck it's called. I like the reasoning they gave. The actual studio said that the official reason for its delay is to make sure that the game's cooler.
Oh.
Which, if you can make a blunt reason like that, The game's got to be cool. They're just like, this game isn't cool enough. There's not enough guns and zombies and whatever. We gotta delay this shit.
We have to get our panel of like edgy high schoolers.
Yeah.
Basically to
Cool
figure all this shit out. But yeah. And then we're already in the main topic.
No.
So before we get to Cat Spoiler Cast at the very end.
Yeah.
So for those who are looking forward to that, there you go. Because in the description I've already spoiled it by now, so I don't know why we tried to keep it a secret. Bethesda decided to drop one more shit before closing out 2020.
Oh.
So during the Christmas season...
Before closing out 2019?
Oh, right. Well, let's be fair. I don't think Bethesda...
Out the decay.
I was going to say, I don't think Bethesda's going to not fuck up in 2020. So
No, that's true.
there's that too. But anyways, Fallout 76 shits out one more shit bomb. During the holiday season... PC players, some of them, were treated to coming back on Christmas Day or shortly before or whatever when you decided to log back into your game during the busy season, only to find out that all of their loot is missing. What ended up happening to some people is it turns out that an exploit that Bethesda claims has been fixed was allowing players to just pickpocket you while you're going around and just take shit, whatever you want, out of your inventory, as if you were a corpse in a Bethesda game, but you're not, and you're playing a public game with other people on it.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Oh, yay.
To say, if I recall correctly, Bethesda never even made it like an announcement. It's just one of those like, fewer people are having it occur, so...
Kind of. So Bethesda did make a, like... The reason a lot of people didn't consider it a statement was it was basically just a casual tweet in passing. That was, but we'll talk about that.
We're aware of your concerns.
Yeah, we'll elaborate on that in a second. But what I was going to say is the interesting thing is that they did confirm that this didn't affect people on private servers, either because coding differences or just your friends assumedly wouldn't do that to you, but there were no reports of it happening on any private servers, which people assumed it made it immune, and they couldn't get into your loot boxes. Both of those, of course, included in Bethesda's $99 year subscription. So, yet another, like, lob to my theory of them breaking the game intentionally to sell their bullshit, but they say it was an exploit and a glitch, so yeah. Anyways, so they did make a bit of a statement where they go, yeah, it's fixed. But they did the thing that I really think is insulting to players. If you ever have, and I know Josh for a fact can pull some shit in video games when it comes to breaking it, right? When people go, yeah, but it didn't really, it only happened to a couple of people. It almost seemed very dismissive and insulting to the people that it did happen to, because the problem is, right, is it still did happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like some people claimed it happened and no one could prove it, so Bethesda's just doing a blanket apology for just in case it happened, but it's a known, proven thing to happen. And then they just go, yeah, but it didn't happen to that many people. Only 10% of the population got broken into this year. It's not that big of a deal. Like, no, but it still happened, so, like, problem. Like, why'd you treat it like a real problem? Because your game's fucked still. Something I found amusing is Jim Sterling was talking about how every year people look forward to his top 10 shittiest games video. In fact, more so than his top 10 good games of the year, as Jim is known for exposing the shit of the shit. He did mention the interesting thing is a lot of people, having watched his videos this year, especially newer fans, were telling him that they were anticipating to see Fallout 76 on there. The only issue being that Fallout 76 is already 1 year and like 2 months old now at this point.
Yeah.
So that just shows you how long this game's been fucked and broken. Like, if the game did just launch this year and it's had these kerfuffles, that's one thing. But the fact that a lot of these problems are happening over a year after the game's come out is just insane. That's where the problem lies.
Like $100 a year to play it now, don't you?
Well, you can. That's if you want the special perks.
I mean, you still gotta pay $60
I'm not getting your stuff
to
broken
initially
into.
play it.
Right. So it's theoretically buy to play at first, but then you can spend a lot more.
Can it just be dead already? Like,
No, because these morons that are on there keep playing it.
Stop
so
playing Fallout 76. It's nothing good.
Because the
There's
3 people
nothing
playing
good
it still
for
are
it.
spending a lot of money on it. That's the problem.
It's a terrible game. Stop playing it.
Yeah. So.
Just let it die already.
I mean, obviously the reason they dismiss it the way they do is just because, they're trying to keep fear down. It's just a typical business tactic.
Yeah.
We a lot of our info leaked. Your credit card info leaked. Don't worry though, it wasn't probably not you.
But you can go to his website.
90% of our bank clients got robbed, but it probably wasn't you though.
Yeah.
Right? So you're probably one of the 10%.
Yeah, you're fine.
So don't worry, you're probably fine.
But here's a website to check it out. Just
Bethesda also did make a very empty promise to say that they want to make it right and compensate what? You're just gonna trust everybody's gonna tell you they make the right things, and you're gonna go through. Well, there's probably only 5 people playing it, so probably wouldn't be that hard to just.
I mean, I also don't trust them since they tried to give their people, mold filled.
No, they didn't try to give it.
No, they gave it.
They're not trying to give people.
But they tried to they gave it and tried to get people sick.
Helmet.
That's so
Here's
gross.
your shitty canvas bag. No, not even. Here's your shitty nylon bag and your moldy helmet.
Your windbreaker
Thanks for
bag.
buying our game.
Yeah, that's what they did.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Stop playing Fallout 76.
No, now more people are gonna play it.
Please stop playing it.
Oh. Well, the game died.
When will they learn?
The game won't die until people stop paying $100 a year for it.
Stop doing that.
It's fucking free real estate at this point. Because just think about it, right? If someone, wanted to log on to some bullshit, they want to use your fucking Gaia Online account, right? And they're going to give you $100 a year to use it, why would you shut it down? That's still $100 a year. It doesn't fucking matter if it's one person.
I know.
So, Bethesda sucks, I know. But that's just the whole point of beating this dead horse. Alright, for those of you who don't want to be spoiled with cats, get the fuck out now. Daniel and Mallory don't have much of a choice, although I don't think they have any intention to see cats.
I have no
anyways.
intention to see cats.
So they don't probably care about
Why
getting
would you
spoiled.
want to miss out?
But yeah, so this is your
I'm
warning.
gonna see it when it's free on some streaming service.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is the warning. This is the Spoilercast warning, and here we go. We're gonna go into Cats, the movie Spoilercast. All right, so Mr. Josh, we had the pleasure of seeing Cats. We're both physically ill now from seeing Cats.
Yeah, this movie gave me a headache. I have a headache from watching this movie.
Yeah, you have an actual headache, and I have depression. So it's crazy. We both left with ailments as soon as we saw this piece of shit. But so we went in there, and at least I'm going to lead with how I understood the situation. We went in there definitely not expecting anything good. We went in there for the lulz, just to preface how we already had this mentality. But I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was. I really didn't expect it to be that bad. And for the listener who's gonna scoff and go, "You didn't know," you if you didn't see it, you do not know just how much you could not know, as much as you think you know how bad it was. I thought I knew how bad it was going to be. I really did. I came in there with fuck all expectations, and I was still disappointed somehow. God, I almost want to do a roll through of I almost want to do I'm gonna lead the scenes, and then we can kind of just talk about it. But so from the very opening scene, basically all the cats appear in the streets, and they're all singing a stupid fucking song that I really hate, which was called Jellicle Cats. Which I had to Google what the fuck that was, because I thought I was just having a stroke, and I wasn't understanding what was happening anymore. But apparently Jellicle Cats is that type of race. When you're an ugly, unfinished CGI cat, is what a Jellicle Cat is.
Yeah.
So they're
home, because your CGI sucks.
Yeah, so you're going around singing,
that's why they threw out, what was her name? Victoria, was it?
Yeah.
They threw her out because her CGI was unfinished.
It was unfinished. The family said, fuck this.
It's like,
I don't
damn
want
you. One second I'm looking at you, you have cat hands, and then the next you have human hands.
Yeah, that's one of the weirdest...
So you guys did get into the unfinished cut of it.
Yeah, we were able to get the unfinished cut of it, yeah.
Before they...
They didn't patch it. I called all the theaters to make sure before we went. Which I may cut in those phone calls because I recorded them.
You did?
But yeah, so I don't know.
Do
I'm sure that's also a bit of a crime, but it's fine. They're anonymous. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not real people. I could have said it was staged. Now you guys don't know. But yeah. So
Texas is not a crime.
what's up?
In Texas, it's not a crime.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so no one else listened to it outside of Texas. But, yeah, so that goes on for actual fucking forever. Like, that song felt like it was like 10 minutes long for no fucking reason. And so they're just going around, Jellicle Cats, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I'm just like, I don't know what a fucking Jellicle Cat is. Right?
The Jellicle Cats who meet once a year for the Jellicle Ball under the Jellicle
Yeah, so they just start saying the term like anyone knows what the fuck that is, right?
Yeah, they never explain it.
I'm not sure if it's a jelly bean. I'm not sure if it's a G2 gel pen.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's nonsense is what the fuck it is, right? So then the lead cat girl is standing on like a coffin, and then the other cat guy is like feeling her up. Yeah, which is a really weird scene where he's basically like... before that, though, she comes up to the gate of, like, the cemetery, and she goes, hey, she's trying to get in, and these two girls stop her, like, these two actual fucking,
because they want to know her name.
Yeah, they want to know her name. And then bullshit guy cat comes in and goes, you don't know what we mean by your name? Everybody has a name. You have the name that your owners call you. You have a name you can't say?
Yeah.
So why the fuck would you ask her what the name you can't say is?
Yeah, they say the name
fucking
true
sense.
to you, which you never tell another. It's like, what the fuck? Why the fuck
What are you asking?
Right then?
You know I can't say
name?
it. And then there's
But
apparently
if no
some
one
third...
else knows, then how do they know that other people have that name?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It made no sense, like the rest of the fucking movie. And then the third name type I don't even remember because I was so distracted by how stupid it was. Anyway, so then she started getting felt up by that one cat randomly. Yeah. As this is happening, you have Idris Elba cat is just perched on top of a big neon sign looking down, wondering what the fuck he's doing in the movie, probably. So there's that, and then the musical number ends, and the girl finds her. Everyone kind of is just. It's weird because the scene had actually just dissipated at that point. I forgot to mention. They're all dancing in the streets, having a good time. Then they just all disappeared. Then this weird scene happened, and then they stopped the musical again, which makes no fucking sense.
It's real weird. Like there's
a lot of pacing issues.
Oh yeah, because one thing ends and then moves to another. Like I don't even know what happens in between that, but they're in that, and then they go to the area where Rebel Wilson's cat is at.
Right. Before we get to that, we're talking about pacing issues, and before anyone interjects in the comments and goes, "You guys have never seen a musical before?" I have, right? And usually there's actual scenes and breaks between the songs, but this shit is like a literal 2-hour album that does not fucking stop. Yeah. And it's not good. It's a shitty album. It's like listening to Saint Anger 4 times in a row. Although that might have been better. So then they go into a scene where they go to Rebel Wilson. So they're talking about the Jellicle thing, and then the girl's like, what the fuck is a Jellicle? Why do you guys want this person? And he goes, let me not answer that. And then he goes to the next scene, and he just goes to Rebel Wilson and goes, this is who I want to be the Jellicle cat, without answering what the fuck that is, right? So you come to a scene, Rebel Wilson is just fanning her pussy into the sky. It's really weird. It's a very awkward and inappropriate scene where she's just spread eagle on the ground.
Scratching her thighs.
Scratching her inner thighs. Then the camera cuts to them looking at her doing this. Then all of a sudden there's a scene from the back of her head covering her crotchal area with her legs still spread eagle. Proceed to a bunch of very cliche and worn out fat jokes. Unsaid but acted out, I'm fat and clumsy jokes. Literally, that's seriously the whole scene with her. Haha, I am fat, lol. I am charismatic though, but fat. Haha, but I am fat, do not forget. And I'm just like, okay, what a piece of shit scene is this? It's a gross thing with mice and fucking cockroaches too.
The mice and the cockroaches were very disturbing.
And it got to worse tiers of CG too, because the cats were bad, right? Then you pointed out that the mice were bad. And then the cockroaches were so poorly photoshopped on, despite the smaller area to do, that you could almost see the mistrimmed faces, if you do something bad in Photoshop or MS Paint and you try to trim with an eraser and you have all that extra real estate around it, that's what it looks like almost.
I swear it was the same thing with the mice. The head and the face is the face is just like away from it. It looks so bad seeing it.
It looks really bad. So then that scene fucks off, and then Jason Derulo cat shows up out of fucking like for some fucking reason. I didn't even know he was in the movie. Jason Derulo shows up and starts singing, and it's more nonsense music, and he's just freaking out, and then he's kind of very full of himself. He's like Elvis Cat, basically, and he's just very... All the girls want him, and all this weird stuff. There's just a lot of weird scenes with the girls swooning over him. Then there's a part where he runs through the bars to exit the building that he's in, and goes, "Ooh, milk," or some shit like that.
Yeah, he screams milk.
Yeah, he screams milk really loud in the middle of the street,
and then runs back
into the thing, in which he raises the protagonist. I don't know the actress's name that was playing like the main protag girl.
Yeah, I looked it up, but I'm not familiar
with her.
Yeah.
So
it's like French.
There's a weird scene where he's singing to her and she's swooning over him, and he picks her up by her arms and then just drops her ass from like high.
Francesca Hayward.
Yeah, whoever the fuck that is. Yeah. And then so his scene's finally over. Goddamn. Oh. Rebel Wilson does the thing too, where it cuts to her and she's talking to asshole cat guy and goes, "I guess he got his balls chopped off recently because those are some high notes." And then she like wink, jab, jabs, then does the scissor things. Like she didn't just say he got his dick cut off, and then just goes like, "You know what I mean, right?" As in like his dick cut off. Yeah, you just fucking said it. You literally said the term neuter. Then you did the snip thing. It should be the other way around, if anything.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so Jason Derulo's dumbass scene ends. And then they go into the street, and everyone's, like, scared all of a sudden. And then main chick goes out, like, kind of, like, by herself anyways. And everyone's kind of held back and looking scared. And they see some hunched-over, dirty-ass cat in the middle of the street. And it's some chick from Destiny's Child. I forgot her name. Kelly Rowland or Jennifer Hudson. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And so Jennifer Hudson cat is there, and they go out, and they just start doing the thing where they don't explain shit.
Yeah.
And she basically enters a song in which she goes, "I was once great, and now I'm shit. What did I mean by great? Wouldn't you like to know? What do you mean by shit? Wouldn't you like to know?" And then the song ends. Nothing's explained further. I still have no idea at this point. It's already like fucking like 30, 40 minutes at this point. I have no idea what's happening still.
Yeah.
Then they fuck off. This is going to start getting really blurry for me. I'm doing a really good job of recapping it so far, but now I'm starting to forget because...
They meet the James Corden cat.
Oh, right. They meet James Corden cat, which is more ha-ha, I'm fat jokes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they're just like grabbing, like, you know, just dragging him around by his tits and feeding him food. It's like really weird. I mean, James Corden's cool. In fact, of all the characters, James Corden cat was probably one of the few ones I actually thought was at least kind of funny. But then again, I just find James Corden funny, so I could just be biased. But they dance around in a weird junkyard area, and then there's a weird part where the song pauses, and then James Corden cat gets mad that his friend even pretended like he was just gonna lift him by himself.
Oh yeah, because it was supposed to be a scene where like a seesaw, you know, like he's on one end and you think, oh, the other person's gonna jump on it, which will cause the other guy to watch, and he's just like, really, I'm fat.
Yeah,
like,
so basically
you need like three of you.
Yeah, it cuts into a weird fat shaming scene in which James Corden goes, "Oh, like you're really gonna do that? You're just trying to be nice to me. I'm fat. Like, just get the other three people on there already, and let's get the fuck on with this." So that shit's weird, and then it breaks the pace of the thing.
They're carrying like a huge weight.
Yeah, and someone puts a big ass fucking like Looney Tune anvil on it, and then it finally launches his fat ass into the trash can, and the trash can spills, and there's all this gross shit in it, and all the cats start licking it, and There's like a weird crawfish thing in there, and then all of them have a turkey leg for some reason that looks like the same turkey leg that was just cut and paste CGI'd on everybody.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I'm really starting to forget now.
It looked like
the
same
point.
turkey leg that Jason Derulo cat was munching on earlier. Like, even though it was a completely different scene, but it looked like the same one.
So I'm gonna pretty much stop the play-by-play at this point and start fast-forwarding, only because for the second half of the film, I was on my phone the entire time, glancing up every once in a while, but honestly not paying much attention, other than listening to the bullshit songs and still trying to figure out what's going on, which I still didn't figure out even to now.
Yeah, so like after the James Corden cat, everybody runs off, and then the main cat meets like the two troublemaker cats.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so
Yeah.
Josh will probably have to start bridging, but I do remember the key scene still, so I can try to go on after that. So she meets these two troublemaker cats, which I can never remember the names because they had very weird names.
One was like Mongo Jerry.
Yeah, one was, and then the other one was like
Rump. I fucking had the IMDb page. I could just fucking look this shit
you might
up.
want to keep that open just in case, but
Rumple Teaser.
yeah, so it's Rumple Teaser.
These are
and,
such memorable names.
yeah, just like the fucking movie. And so they go through some privileged ass person's house, right? Because it's like rich as fuck. So they go in there, they start covering the pro tag in jewelry, and they're all going around and fucking up the house. They ruin the bed. They start singing about all the fucked up things they do. At this point, you've already figured out, as I mentioned earlier, that all these cats are kind of contending to win a new life and be reincarnated essentially into a new life.
Yeah.
Which is weird though, because some of them already live what seems like great lives, and others are shitty lives. In which case, you can understand why they want to be reincarnated. So they start going around and they're just causing a muck in this fucking house, talking about all the actual fucked up shit they do to this family. And they essentially torture them. I mean, like, basically is what they do. They fuck up their lives.
Yeah.
Then they get done, and main character chick, they're fucking off because they hear that the owners are home.
Well, the
dog is coming upstairs because it's barking, and the door's open, so they fuck off. Because of all the jewelry and bullshit main girl is wearing, she gets caught to the end of the bed. To which the two thieves look at her and go lol and fuck off.
Yeah, sucks to suck by.
There's Ace Frehley magician cat that shows up, and he comes to go save her, even though at this point he's just a fuck up of a magician because none of his tricks work.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much his pointless point. I think
after
Go ahead, Josh.
after that is when Judi Dench.
I'm gonna walk out
shows
and
up.
relieve my bowels. You guys keep going.
Oh,
This
man.
is all in the episode. Go
All
ahead.
right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's saved by. God, what the fuck is that cat's name?
Mistopheles?
Mr. Mistopheles. Yeah, and then so they go and leave, and I guess they know those cats are troublemakers because he knows that she was hanging out with them, but decides to not tell anybody.
Yeah.
And then, so they leave and then meet up with Judi Dench cat, who then, fuck, what happens? They just sing a song about her. And, like, the real annoying thing is almost any time someone shows up and they're like, who's that? They just go into a song about it. So what happens after she shows up?
Oh, no. I didn't get to watch it tonight.
Yeah. Oh, I think Idris Elba cat still shows up and is kind of like, ooh, I hope I get to be the chosen one. And they're kind of like, no, fuck off. And then it's kind of revealed that he's kidnapping the other cats.
What?
Yeah, so he's kidnapping cats and tying them on a boat so that essentially there won't be any competition.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the play? Is this like canon with it? Or
I've never seen the original musical, so I can't tell you.
So
But-
I've seen the musical and the 1998 version of Cats. And I really enjoyed that as a kid, but I haven't seen this one, and I'm kind of scared too. Like, I'm looking at the reviews, and there's nothing good.
Oh, yeah, no.
It says cringeworthy, disturbing, unsettling, awkward, boring, creepy, bad acting, terrifying, gross, and confusing. And even the 5-star reviews, like, you can tell somebody just, like, probably went on there 100 times and posted those to make them look good. But there's one that was honestly, like, my favorite. It's, like, this one is a 1-star review, and it's, like, 10
Like a
paragraphs
damn essay.
long.
Yeah. So after Judi Dench cat shows up, they then just... It's just a chain of different characters singing. They meet the Jennifer Hudson cat again, and she just kind of sings by herself.
She's a sad cat.
She's a... Oh god, no, she is a sad cat. Like the first scene when they're chasing her off, and not even, they just hiss her away.
Yeah.
She like is running away on all fours, which just is weird. And then she turns to look back, and you do see like snot running out of her nose because that's how hard she's crying.
Yeah.
So it's really weird scenes. Like,
sad.
well, yeah, majority of the time her face is just wet.
Yeah, and also not to mention that, as we mentioned earlier throughout the movie, let's remind everybody that their hands are just going back and forth between human hands and paws.
Yeah.
It's so inconsistent. That's the most inconsistent thing.
There were scenes where they're just fleshy, and then there's another scene. You see the patch of fur, like, on the back. So it kept going back and forth. The feet as well. There were even cats wearing shoes. I don't even know if that was supposed to be
it was hard to tell if it was part of their, like, anthropomorphic look.
Yeah.
Or if they fucked up and didn't CG over the shoes.
Mm-hmm. It was really weird. And so it's just a string of more songs and dances. Like Jason Derulo's cat comes back. These other two cats show up and start popping.
Yeah, they almost recycle at some point during the movie, and everyone has like a musical number again, but it's almost just the same shit again. It's like recap musical number.
Yeah, and then, Ian McKellen cat.
That's weird.
That was a weird one.
That was a very weird one.
And I love him as an actor.
He was Gus the theater cat.
Oh.
So,
okay.
And that was a weird scene too, because throughout the whole movie, Mr. Mistopheles keeps saying, "I'm the magic cat," but like keeps fucking up. But in that one, he actually summons thunder and lightning during Gus's song. So it's like, what the fuck?
So you're actually magic?
Yeah. And so after Ian McKellen cat leaves, then some train cat shows up, tap dancing all over the place.
Yeah, which
is
fucking weird.
Disappears into a cloud of dust, like all the other characters have been. Then who was after that? Was it the Taylor Swift cat after that one?
Oh god, I forgot about Taylor Swift cat.
Yeah.
I forgot she's in the movie.
Yeah, Taylor Swift cat.
Well, don't worry. I already forgot before, and then I forgot like almost immediately after, because their character just fucks off, like actually.
Yeah, kind of. Like she just shows up, like
she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, and then
as she spreads catnip all over the place. Yeah, because she and then the two troublemaker cats from earlier, and then they're joined by a third one. I had no idea.
Yeah, where the fuck he came from?
Yeah, so they're all drugging everybody with catnip,
which is weird.
Yeah,
they're just getting fucking roofied in the middle of the movie,
right?
And then goes into like this musical number where then Idris Elba cat comes back,
from
no
nowhere.
longer wearing clothes.
Yeah, he's just naked. Yeah, Idris Elba. Okay, let me just mention too, right? Is the fact that this cat's naked body, which isn't too overly hairy of a furry body, basically is matching Idris Elba's actual skin tone. So at this point forward, it basically looks like genitalless Idris Elba is just naked. Like not Idris Elba cat.
With like cat
just,
makeup.
Yeah. So like FF11 cosplay gone wrong, right? So he's just basically wearing like.
It's so weird because he wears that big coat.
Yeah.
Throughout like all the movie, and then just this one time,
he's just like, I'm naked now. I forgot to put it on.
I'm just gonna be naked and dance with Taylor Swift cat.
Yeah. So naked Idris Elba
we're not
and
calling them
Taylor
by their
Swift.
names. We're just calling them Taylor Swift cat.
Yeah. Well, she has like a weird name.
Like their stage names.
Yeah, I couldn't even like pronounce it.
Well, they're naming everybody by their actual
I know. I'm just loving it. No, I'm just loving it. Like
I think someone's not paying attention to this.
No, I am. It's just it's making me laugh because I'm looking up their names while I'm looking at the images on Google while you guys are saying this, and I'm like, who's Taylor Swift cat? And then I'm like, oh, Taylor Swift cat.
Yeah, no, it's just Taylor Swift.
That's what we've been doing this whole time.
I
know. And then that's when Idris Elba cat's plan is revealed all along, because he's like, oh, there's nobody else here, so you have to choose me. And Judi Dench is like, fuck off.
Yeah, so it's really dumb. So here's Idris Elba's, for those who aren't following, here's Idris Elba's, don't worry, I'm not telling a story, Mallory. Here's Idris Elba's whole motive, basically. He's gonna cheat to win the competition, which is to get a new life. His life is nondescript, other than the fact that you assume he's evil because he's just poofing everybody into oblivion. Yeah, but how does winning the contest aid him in any way?
Yeah.
If anything, it might put him into a good life and he becomes a good guy. We don't know.
It's real weird. They don't even describe, like, they're just like, ooh, he's the bad person. It's like, but why?
I had made the joke during the film where I go, I said something like racist cats, and
considering the fact that they hate him and Jennifer Hudson
Jennifer Hudson Cat, the two black people in the movie are both bad guys.
It's a bit.
It's weird.
That's terrible.
It's a little bad.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
It's a bit much.
so that happens, and that's his stupid ass plan. So he tells Judi Dench and goes, "All right, bitch, I win because I'm the last cat, even though there's like a trillion other people in this room." And he goes, "So
chosen."
yeah, basically. So he says, "You have to. I win by default," and she goes, "No, I don't have to pick anybody." Basically,
Yeah.
and he goes, "What?" And then they do they teleport at that point?
Yeah, he poofs her away.
He poofs her away. They go away, and then everyone else is just standing there in awe.
Yeah. Well, because they're trying to figure out, well, like, how do we bring her back? Like, we don't know magic.
But before that, though, let's cut to the... So, Idris Elba and Judi Dench are on Captain Hook's ship for some reason. And they're at the port, though. They're not even really out on sea, I don't think. I think they're just on the ship.
Yeah, they're just ported at the River Thames.
There you go. So they're there for some fuck-all reason. James Corden and a few other people are tied up on the Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, pretty much everybody he kidnapped.
Ian
so
McKellen,
Rebel Wilson, James Corden, Ian McKellen cat, the train conductor cat.
Yeah, for the train conductor one. It was like high profile actor cats and then train conductor cat. It was weird. So anyways, he starts having Judi Dench walk the plank.
Yeah.
Because, water cats, I guess. It's just odd, though, because at this point, they're not really making much of a relation to actual cats anymore. In fact, they seem to always be making all these removals while simply referencing cats. Because they kind of go, oh, we're not just regular cats, we're Jellicle cats. Like, they kind of are trying to make it like...
Apparently Jellicle cats can't swim.
We're Khajiit.
Apparently.
So, they were going to throw her ass into the water.
So confused.
Yeah, they don't tie an anchor to her or anything. They're
No,
just like,
they don't.
we're going to walk the plank and drown.
And,
like,
unless you want to make me the chosen one, and she's just like, no. And then, okay, she's already almost at the tip of the plank. Then you cut to the scene that takes fucking forever, right?
Yeah.
So her ass would have been in the water well before this following scene ends. So you cut back to all the other asshole cats that are in the little ballroom area. The bad thief cats and everyone else who are big betrayers are apologizing to the other cats, and they're basically like, oh, we didn't know he was actually going to do anything bad. We just thought it would be funny to just drug everybody.
We just thought it'd be hilarious.
So they go, well, can you bring her back? And everyone's just kind of like, no, we can't. And then Ace Frehley Cat is told, well, you're a magician, right? You probably can. He goes, no, I can't. I'm just a shitty magician. I'm not like a real one, I'm not really David Copperfield. I'm more like Chris Angel. And he basically is like, I can. And they're basically like, but we believe you can. You could at least try, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, I mean, other than the fact that magic's bullshit and I can't do any of that stuff, I mean, I guess I could try.
Yeah.
So they sing this really long, stupid-ass song about Malachi the Magician, whatever the fuck his name is.
Magical Mr. Mistopheles.
There you go. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That's the only cat you know his name.
So... No, because we don't know
had
who the
a
fuck he
really
is.
endearing song. Okay.
Well, no. The actual reason is because we don't know who the fuck that actor is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason we don't call him whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trust me, we don't remember any of the fucking names. But,
Magical
so
Mr.
they sing this fucking 10-minute song, and Judi Dench should have fucking died, but she doesn't for some reason. He fails to teleport her back twice, but on the third try, she appears again. So it works, apparently.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, he can just do, like, hella magic.
Yeah.
And he's just doing, like, Firaga, and he's just casting Zeus lightning bolts and stuff, because now he can just do magic. At will. Whoever the fuck that is. Like, because anyone knows who that is.
I don't
know why Mallory just
anything.
wasted our time with that guy's name, because no one knows who that is.
But yeah, no, because after that moment, he starts flying around the room, throwing playing cards everywhere, making
doing actual magic now.
Magical trombones fly around. I was like, what the fuck?
Showers of roses.
It's like I don't think you need to be reincarnated into a better life. I think you're pretty Gucci, man.
Yeah, he's basically just Jesus at that point, which is weird.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Judi Dench is like, yeah, you saved me some fucking how. Josh made a good point where it almost seemed like it was going to be a thing where maybe it's later revealed that she really just did it and wanted him to feel good about his micro penis. And
because that was my thought at first, like, oh, well, I mean, she seems to be heralded as something great. So
Yeah.
maybe she somehow found a way to poof herself back, because it seems like that's a norm.
Yeah.
And, she's just like, oh, I'll just make him... Yeah. But no, then he starts doing all that other bullshit. So, I guess he really is
all that
magical.
shit, so they have the dumbass fucking magical show. Cirque du Soleil happens. And then they cut back to Idris Elba on his boat, and he's all pissed off, and he's just like, what the fuck? How did that... But I am... Whatever the fuck my name... I'm Idris Elba Cat. I will win. And then he grabs one of the other cats.
I think it was Taylor Swift Cat.
Taylor Swift Cat, and then...
They disappear. But you never see Taylor Swift Cat again, I think.
They fucking Thanos out of there, and then... but Taylor Swift never comes back again. I guess that was the end of her contract.
Yeah.
Idris Elba Cat fucks off. I don't even know where he went, because they don't show him for a while. Is anything important happen for a while? Or bang on. Then they choose the Jellicle Cat, right?
So after that, it cuts back to the Jellicle Ball or whatever.
Uh-huh.
The main cat just, dances around, and
That's
then she
really
goes
boring.
outside, and she sees Jennifer Hudson Cat again.
Okay.
So she brings her in, and everybody's all like, ooh, it's Jennifer Hudson Cat. Don't like her.
We're not racist or anything, but we're just saying.
Yeah. They want us to have racist blood.
You saw Idris Elba Cat, Ooh.
Yeah, you're with the wrong crowd and wrong side of the cat tracks there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's just like, well, sing! Just bloody sing!
Yeah.
And Jennifer Hudson Cat sings.
Yeah, you were from Destiny's Child. You can sing.
Yeah, and then after that, Judi Dench is...
Oh, yeah,
you are now the chosen.
Yeah, so she goes, so you're now the chosen one, and then that's all good. Jennifer Hudson, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. You guys aren't racist. And then the main cat goes, see, I told you, not all white people are bad. Anyways, no, but then...
She is a very white cat.
She really is.
That's kind of weird.
So they put Jennifer Hudson Cat into a weird,
it's like a weird
girdle thing.
It's like a like an upside down chandelier.
Yeah, it looks like an upside down chandelier, right? Then Ace Frehley Magician Cat starts shooting firebolts at the fucking candles, and he lights all of them with his magic powers that he now has. Then it flies into the sky. Idris Elba is on a weird fucking Davy Crockett statue.
On the roof or something.
No, he's on the roof, and he goes, aha! And then he comes out of nowhere, Taylor Swift's dead, and then he grabs onto the rope, and he's just like, I clearly didn't think about the rest of this plan.
I didn't do any grip strength training.
He's hanging on, and he skipped Arms Day, and he's going above Davy Crockett's statue, and he fucking lets go, and he lands in the hat. Nothing else really happens, and he just kind of goes, oh, I guess...
I'll just poof away.
I guess I'm just gonna fuck off. Yeah. And then he fucks off. Then it cuts to what seemed to me like a 30-minute song that just kept fucking going on. It just wouldn't fucking end. They sing for fucking forever. At this point, I'm actually wanting to tear my hair out. And they just go on and on and on. Then, for no fucking reason, because they just couldn't have the movie end yet. Because after the musical number, what would most movies do? It would fucking fade out, turns into a little circle around Judi Dench's head, she winks, and then it fucks off, right?
And so Judi Dench
None of that,
stares
right?
at the screen.
Judi Dench then all of a sudden starts talking to the audience. And she just goes, cats, huh? Am I right? And then she goes...
Now you know about the Jellicle cats.
Then she starts telling stuff. She basically goes, your cats at home may not be Jellicle cats, but here's what you should do to them. First of all, pick them up and tell them they're a big man. Second of all, feed them what they like to be fed. Cats don't always want to be played with. Sometimes cats want you to leave them the fuck alone. When that's the case, you should leave them the fuck alone. She starts saying all these rules of how to,
a
PSA of how you should take care of your fucking cats.
Then they go into another song, and then it cuts back to her again.
Yeah.
In which she ends with, a cat is not a dog. Then they sing about that
for
a little
bit.
Bit.
Dumb bitch.
Yeah. That's the message of the film.
Yeah, that was the message of the whole film. Our cats are not dogs. Then the Jennifer Hudson gets annihilated in the sky.
Yeah,
is the final scene.
She just disappears.
She just
poof.
They ran out of the last of the CGI. Fucking just went with the rest of the movie, and it ends. And that was Cats, the movie.
Oh, well, then after that, then Judi Dench looks at the main cat and is just like, I think you are a Jellicle cat.
Oh, right, because the whole thing, the fucking main chick's having an identity crisis
Yeah.
she couldn't have possibly had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb.
That's pretty bad.
So we hope you guys had a new year.
No
a good one,
idea
at
how
least.
to take any of
A good new year.
I'm so confused.
It may be Thursday at 11 a.m., but we'll be coming back to you this Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and hopefully at that time frame further and further and further. We'll have Samir Khan on here again, cosplayer Samir Khan, and then Alexa Lexicon artist the week after that.
Maybe they'll have things to say
About cats. We'll ask them.
Maybe.
We'll ask them.
So
And
it's
you
just
can catch
like
us
going to be on a whiteboard from now on.
every week,
did you do
Monday
that?
at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And until the next episode, we will catch you guys then. Until then, see ya.
Bye.